Hey, it's Max.
It's RJ.
And you're listening to Streaming Cassettes on Wingman of the Year.
Yes, sir.
I was going through my hat collection and I was like, I have to wear a Wingman of the Year hat. Like I was wearing something else, but I'm like, it's for the brand. So, you've been good the last few weeks wearing your Deathcore vegan shirt, but you have a little Infant Annihilator, don't you?
I gotta switch it up, you know.
Scream about the babies.
Yeah, killing them too.
Killing all the babies.
I'm kidding.
That's a vibe.
That's how we start off the show. If you ain't killing babies, what are you even doing it right?
Yeah.
All right.
There's a pop punk band, like
Yeah.
we definitely stand by killing babies.
Oh shit, exactly. Okay, so without further ado, we'll break down who we have on the screen with us. But this is the band Octopus Montage. How's it going?
We're good. Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
So hopefully the squares stay the same when I edit. But to the left of us, we have Alex. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have Deck. And then for drums, I got Cain down below. And I was out of the room when we
where I belong.
Alex was actually in the band.
Okay, so Alex screams mostly.
Scream. Okay.
But plays guitar. So when he live, he's not like dancing around like Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park. He's actually doing something. Beck sings, plays guitar. Cain plays drums, the most important part. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And then they have Beck's sister plays bass.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, and
All right.
she's MIA, but we got the rest of the crew, which is awesome. So we're here for that. So how you guys doing?
Good.
Good, yeah.
Yeah,
I end up going on tangents when I talk, so I'm going to try and be a little bit quiet.
a bit same.
Because I'll just speak for the rest of the band like the entire time. So I'll try and not do that.
You guys are good.
Yeah.
You know?
Be yourself.
I'm not going to wait that long, actually. That's quite bad. I'm still want to go back to bed. I'm still tired, man. I need to sort out my sleeping schedule.
Bear in mind,
Bad.
it's 11 where you guys are, and it's 4 p.m. here, and Alex has just woken up. So
No, to be fair, Cain's the worst for that, though. Cain's worse than me.
No, I'll stick to that because last night me and Alex were on call and I was like, I sorted my sleeping schedule out, mate. I've been going to bed like 12 o'clock. Last night I went to bed about 5 in the morning. I was like, that's just like so typical me.
Well,
So-
not
No, 'cause you were like, let's call the call early. Let's like leave early so we can go to sleep early. Then like 5 hours later, he's still
not to be a
Just watching American Horror Story.
Does it always rain there? There's always raining.
What?
Or is there always?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
That's true.
especially where we are, it rains about 80% of the time. If it's not raining, it's just really windy.
We have weird days because I know a week ago we had like the hottest day so far. Like it was boiling. And
But
then
it rained the same day.
and it rained, yeah. And then on Friday I think we're going up to 15 degrees. So it's kind of weird. It's really weird.
It snowed 2 days ago.
Yeah, I know it's Celsius.
Yeah.
We're the weirdos that are still in Fahrenheit.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say 15
Kinda
degrees
feels
is
like
like
Vermont.
dead, isn't it?
Yeah, no, we're just hell bent and stubborn on keeping things like miles and inches, and I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's a guy like speaking to like so many American people and stuff. We haven't got used to it yet either. Where again, like we'll be like 15 degrees, and you guys will be like, no, that's actual like freezing. Like you guys will be dead. We're like that's like barbecue summer. We don't wear any clothes. That is like drinking time. Like that's the hottest we'll have all year. And yeah.
Right, yeah, no, I'm trying to think, like 15 Celsius, isn't that like probably like 60s, 70s Fahrenheit, I think here? That's doing some quick ass math in my head.
Yeah, I think it's about 60. Let me tell you.
I have to
It's
look.
59. Yeah, it's 59.
Okay,
That's right. Yeah.
yep. I would be here for that. Well, maybe not the rain part, but I like,
Yeah, that's like summer for us. That is the hottest we'll get.
wow.
Yeah.
So give some people context that are listening. They are over across the pond in England. So a little context there. And actually, we were learning some fun facts. So the town you're in is a famous beach town for a very weird reason.
Here we go. I should have said it, man. So yeah, we're from Blackpool, which it's a town in the northwest of England. Some people call it like the Las Vegas of the UK because it's just all like, strips of pubs and like gambling places and just stuff like that. We were trying to like describe it because it's just a complete shithole. And the best way we found to describe it is by saying that it was one of Hitler's favorite places and he wanted to have it as his own personal playground. So if you don't take that as like a hint of how terrible it is here, then there's a reason why we play pop punk, because like we all just hate it in our own town. And yeah.
It's just fascinating to me when I heard that. I'm like, what? Like, wow. Okay.
I remember when I was in history, we learned about how it would be his like vacation place. So we'd come up here and they'd all like go on like the when the Pleasure Beach wasn't called the Pleasure Beach, when it was like there's this like amusement park we have, and they'd all like go there for days out and stuff. It was weird.
Mad.
I can't believe you did history.
Yeah, I loved it. It's true.
I can't believe he remembers it, man. He only remembered the one bit about Hitler as well.
Okay, right, go on, Cain, give us like 3 more history facts before we properly start.
You got
like
the SARS, you got the SARS from Russia who were murdered by the army, I think, or something. It was something corrupt, and they didn't like the leaders of Russia, so they went and killed the family in a basement. That was an interesting one. And then you've got yep, that's it.
That was 3. That was 3. You said more than 3 words. So that's 3 facts for Cain.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Each syllable is its own weird fact. That's what I think.
Hey,
Well, he's a drummer. I keep saying.
World War II.
Right. So let's dive into some of the stuff about you guys. So obviously you're in a band, Octopus Montage, and you've talked about sort of like the pop punk elements, but yeah, how do you guys meet? What's kind of the sound to your band? Like what's backstory?
Do you want me to just take the reins of this?
Yeah, you run with it.
Because we weren't about really.
All right, so I started the band about a few years ago. It kind of was a band before I started taking it seriously. It was jamming with a couple of friends, playing covers and stuff. I've always kind of had an interest in sort of playing sort of punk, just metal music in general. So I started with a couple of friends sort of in my garage, just playing some covers, playing like Sex Pistols songs and Blink-182 songs and things like that. Couple of years sort of doing that, playing like random pubs and bars and clubs and things like that, really not doing much. Had such a weird backstory with this band. We had a pregnant female singer for a bit because I was getting bored of singing. Not bored of it, I just realized how terrible I was, so I just gave up. So we got a singer that was just heavily pregnant, didn't like punk music at all, and was just singing for us. We had, just the myriad of whatever you could think could go wrong with a band. We've kind of had that. We've had people not turn up for shows. We've had, just anything you can kind of think of, I've probably sort of done at some point with this band. And then got to the point where I kind of snapped and I was like, I'm putting in all the effort here. I want more people who can really help me, get this band to the next level, because I feel like I've got the work ethic and stuff to really put our time into sort of developing it and making it an actual band, and start writing original music, and start playing more shows and really getting out there and stuff. So I kicked out our old guitarist on, I think it was New Year's Eve, about 3 years ago. Finished writing an EP, booked our EP release show, realized that I can't sing and play every song on the EP because there were certain rhythms of guitars and things that didn't kind of, fit the right way. And I couldn't really concentrate on doing both at the same time. So Alex was opening our show playing an acoustic set of just some like sort of punk covers and I think some of his own original songs. And I remember messaging him being like, we need like an auxiliary guitarist for this show. I know you have your other commitments, but can you come and just sort of play these songs for us? And then if we have any more shows, just jump on and kind of just play the guitar bits I write. And do it like that. I gave him like 7 days or something to learn a full set worth of songs. Luckily they were all kind of like really easy kind of punk songs at the time. So he pulled through, learned all them. so yeah, we kind of took him on sort of full time from there. And a couple months later, our drummer quit. He just sort of, had sort of life things, had to sort of phone it in. This was about a week before we had a show playing a festival where we were like one of the main supporting slots for Mallory Knox, which is like a pretty big, UK rock band.
Wow.
So we were like, all right, cool. Well, we're getting completely fucked over here. I need to find a new drummer. Davina, my bass player, and my sister, she's been in the band from basically day one. I remember sitting, being like kind of stressing out, being like, we need a drummer. And she was like, oh, what about Cain? Like, I used to jam with him in sort of high school. And I remembered that Cain was a drummer because me, Cain, and Davina all went to the same high school. And they're in a couple of years for me.
Was in a couple of years above me and Davina,
yeah,
obviously.
Yeah. So we texted Cain. It was basically the same sort of thing. We were like, we've got a week to learn a set. Can you do it? And he was like, yeah, I'll give it a go, and kind of from there, I was sitting on some new songs. We were trying to write a couple more demos. I realized after having sort of a writing session with Alex that Alex could scream way better than me. Alex is genuinely fucking a really, really good sort of dirty vocalist. Whereas I was just kind of yelling.
Nice to me? You're never nice to me. You're never nice to me. I don't like this.
Sure, if I was on a roll. That was a nice I'll be all friggin' interview now. But yeah, I just, I was like, oh, that's amazing because now I can concentrate on just singing and playing guitar and he can scream and play guitar and we can do this and we can do that. And we started writing loads more and we were kind of like, all right, fuck it, we're onto something here. Let's, get our heads together. Yeah, kind of the rest is history. We did a couple EPs. We've been writing this album we've just released for about 2 years.
Wow.
One of the songs on it Alex actually brought to me kind of before he was really a proper member of the band. I was kind of like, hey, this is an idea I'm working on. And that's one of the songs that's on the record. So yeah, kind of from there for the last 2 years, the ball's just been rolling with all of it, been a bit of a blur. We've just kind of been concentrating on the album and just playing shows and just meeting people and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And then, and in between all that, we released on Halloween a cover of What's New Scooby-Doo. And that's gone to have 10.2 million streams or something, which is just mad. We literally, just released it. I was like, oh, it's Halloween. We'll do a Halloween song. And then, it just fucking, that's just a thing on top of everything else. It's been a bit of a ride, this band already. And this is just, day one, really.
Damn, that's so cool. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely covering that as a question at some point, that song. That's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, these guys have only really been around for 2 years, and the last 2 years has just been riddled with COVID. So we've not really been able to actually do a lot together as a band. We played.
To be fair, the first year we were very busy, and then last year was just constant recording. 2019, when me and Cain first came about, was I remember we got super excited to play our first show outside of Blackpool for 3 people. That was an interesting show. That was a very interesting.
That was the show. One. Cain wasn't with that. Was that the one in Bolton? Our old drummer played that, didn't he? And 2 people came and fell asleep.
Yeah.
They came in the room drunk and just put their heads on the table and just fell asleep. And then we were like, all right, fuck it. So we were like, all right, cool. We'll take this as practice, and we just started messing around, just practicing and stuff. And then they were that drunk, they loved it. In the end, they woke up friggin'. By the time it was our set, I think they woke up and just loved it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I aspire to be when I'm as old as they are. Oh, well. Yeah.
So I think RJ had a question.
Yeah, do you go check on your pups?
God,
I can take over.
Yeah,
okay.
For 1 second, I feel bad. I don't want to interrupt.
You're good. So you mentioned the Sex Pistols, and being from England, you guys had a lot of waves. You had punk, you had British Invasion with the Beatles. Would you say that influenced you a lot?
Probably influenced me a little bit. These guys, probably not. I don't really know about Alex. Alex is quite an eclectic taste.
We come from very different backgrounds as individuals. So when I first joined a few years ago, really meeting Deck and that really opened my eyes to what actual pop punk was. Because I joined basically coming into a metalcore band. From my background, it was more new metal and post grunge era, going into some metalcore, but not much. And I know Cain comes from like that proper scene kid background of like anything you can imagine, like being 11 years old and like just non-stop listening to Stand Up and Scream and that sort of thing. Like, yeah. So it's just
Yeah,
really weird,
we've all like, and all together, I think we've all evolved because it's the same with what Alex said. When I joined the band, Deck opened my eyes to quite a lot of pop punk as well. And then now all me and Deck do is sit in the garage and listen to like Stormzy and just rap at each other. And our genre, me and Deck's genre is just the weirdest thing you'll ever experience in your life.
And
it's like
me and UK have been jamming like loads of EDM as well.
Yeah, and EDM as well. Like it's like being at Walkabout and Tash mixed together. It's the weirdest thing.
You guys know what Walkabout and Tash is because you live in Blackpool apparently. Walkabout is like
Walkabout's I swear Walkabout's like a national thing. I don't think Tash.
National.
National K, not international.
I meant international.
Anyway, right. To answer the actual question, like about influences and stuff, yes and no. I think we all kind of have very strong backgrounds in what we, relate to sort of on a personal level in regards to influences and stuff. Like, again, I listen to a lot of pop punk, quite a lot of punk. I listen to quite a lot of like metal and hardcore and stuff. We never really, well, at least obviously because I started the band, like I was always like, I kind of want to do a pop punk thing, but I always wanted to make something a little bit heavier, and kind of my initial idea was to like really bring back like the punk side of pop punk into it and kind of make it like punk but with like loads of like catchy hooks and stuff. But then as we evolved, I kind of fell more in love with sort of like power pop and like pop punk stuff, and the really, the actual like sort of clean the clean recordings, and everyone can actually play their instruments and stuff, so then me coming from that background, I basically, I just want to write songs that have just got like the catchiest choruses and like big, everything's always opens up and like you just love it. And then obviously Alex comes in with these like, I remember when we were writing demos and stuff, they were basically like new metal songs. Like he sent me a song and I was like, this is literally just a Slipknot song. So can we rein it back a little bit, because like I don't know how to, write this at all. But then since then we've kind of all got used to each other's influences, and we really found this really good middle ground where we know where we can push ourselves and we know what we can do well. So yeah, everyone's influences is really, they've kind of helped, but not on the forefront of stuff. Like we always want to do maybe like in the background of a song, we want something kind of industrial or kind of new metal vibes with sort of, like weird like talking or like sort of screams and things in the background, but we want to bring that into like a pop punk song and have some weird like 6-part screaming harmony that sounds like an Alexandria song or something. We really don't, we say we're a pop punk band or like a metalcore band because it's kind of easy to put us in those genres, but it's really, if you listen obviously to the album and stuff, like it's kind of hard to say we're one or the other, or it's kind of hard to say that any of the songs really is just like a pop punk song or just a metalcore song, because we really just don't, we don't really care. Like, we just write what we want to like,
Someone, a few people actually recently have been like referring to us as like a pop punk deathcore band, which I thought was cool. Yeah. Like I've never heard of that before. Like
we were calling ourselves
popcore.
Popcore. But then we're like, it sounds too much like popcorn, so like we can't do that.
Yeah.
But we kind of went on a tangent, but
get used to it. We will do that.
It's a hard one to answer because just the amount of stuff we are influenced by and listen to and things. It's insane. The British stuff probably doesn't really influence us as much as you think it would, because again, like pop punk is such a predominantly American genre that it's kind of hard to say, we're not influenced by it. Like there's always love for, the old punk bands like Sex Pistols and The Clash and things like that. But I don't know, it doesn't really reflect us, I suppose.
Yeah. In terms of like metalcore as well, like, there's like Bring Me the Horizon, asking like, metalcore side British, but like predominantly again, like comes from what like Killswitch, Atreyu, that kind of thing. Like, there's just no way we can say that it's not predominantly influenced on that.
Yeah, it's like my biggest influence is A Day to Remember, and they're obviously from Florida, so it's like I can't say that we're really influenced by British people at all. Imagine like an actual British accent singing a pop punk song like "White Love."
Well, I think that tells me with like how music is nowadays. You can have really a blend of so many different things and just have your own individual sound. You don't have to be necessarily put in a box one way or the other. Yeah. I have a younger brother who does like EDM producing and stuff, and he'll dabble in different things like that. He'll be like a lot more like a trap hip hop vibe, then there might just be like a pure house track to like something a little more maybe like indie. It's kind of interesting. You can honestly, I think, do that nowadays. You have that like that free will to experiment.
I feel like everyone's heard everything now. Like everyone's heard like basic metalcore now, haven't they? Like if you, like you can probably make it big being like a metalcore band, but like you're still the same as what was happening 20 years ago. Like, you know.
Yeah. Me and Cain were talking about sort of how genres aren't really a thing anymore the other day. We were saying how like, you know, you've got artists like Machine Gun Kelly and Youngblood who are just, you know, like Machine Gun Kelly, he's released like a pop punk record, but he spent what, a decade, 2 decades just doing like rap stuff. But even his like first record, it had Sinister Gates and M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold on it and stuff. It's like if you know you're sat there with Spotify on, the biggest button on the screen is the shuffle button, and you're always on playlists. So what the hell is the point in making a pop punk record? Because it's just going to go, you know, it's going to go in a playlist with every other artist, and then you're just going to, you know, like your song will come on and you'll be like, yeah, it's your song. But if you can, you know, put an album out that's got like, you know, 25% pop punk, 25% deathcore, 25% metalcore, 25% new metal or something, it's like, then you're kind of there for every occasion, and you really don't have to be like, oh, well, we can't play this show because they're only pop punk bands and we're a metalcore band, like we're not going to fit in, or we can't play like Bloodstock or something because we're a pop punk band and we're not going to be heavy enough. Like we've always kind of, you know, I'm always in the mindset of like, whoever is good, enjoy it. You know, shut up about genres. No one cares anymore, and just as long as everybody gets on with each other, then, you know, just go from there.
I mean, like, like I feel like it'd get kind of boring if we were just all writing like pop punk songs all the time and not doing like some heavier stuff, or doing the heavy stuff and not doing the pop punk side. And just trying to not I feel like it'd get very monotonous, especially like it'd be the same recording process for 12 songs.
Yeah.
Every time you do a record or whatever.
Yeah.
So you talked about your sound for a little bit, but the reason I really like you guys is that you capture the old school pop punk. Like, I'm not knocking All Time Low and anything, but their new album was very good, but it didn't capture that, you know, nostalgia. And
that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said to. Who did I say it to? I said it to someone. I was like, "Have you heard the new All Time Low stuff? It doesn't sound like their old stuff."
To be fair though, their new single is absolutely banging. Like it's nothing like their old stuff, but like I've not stopped listening to that song. I just like had to put that in there. Like, sorry for interrupting, but it's such a banger. Do
you remember when we were like, we're going to just constantly go on tangents for the entire thing?
Yeah, we just about.
We're used to it. We always kind of joke we're the Joe Rogan of the network. We've had 2-hour episodes before, so it's not out of our universe to talk for a while. So you're good.
Yeah. Let's push for 3 hours, boys. Let's push for 3 hours.
Let's push for 3. Anyways, what was the question?
No, but did you guys do that on purpose, or was that just a writing process thing? Because you really capture that nostalgia, and like maybe I forget what the song is, but like the first couple songs really brought me back to that time in the 2000s.
I think it just comes from what we listen to and sort of just how we want to write stuff. Like, again, with songs like Grow Up and Dopamine and stuff, you know, well, I wrote Grow Up, so I wrote like probably 90% of it or something. And my idea with that was I just want to write a massive chorus, you know, I want to listen, you know, it was like the middle of summer, you know, we were listening to nothing but like Net Deep and Real Friends and stuff. I was like, I want to just do that. I want to, for this song, I want to just be part of that community, be, you know, just imagine like being on stage and having a crowd of people singing the chorus back to you and stuff like that. Like, that's, you know, how I write choruses and stuff. Like, I only go for stuff that's catchy because, you know, it's the main part of the song. So I don't know, I think after that it kind of just falls in place, and really like the way we were writing songs for the album and stuff was we were finishing a chorus or finishing like the demo of a song and then just turning it up really loud and just seeing if we really enjoy it or not. So and if we really enjoyed
the
it,
heavier stuff, like we'd me and Cain like doing 2-man like Balls of Death and stuff in the studio, like just like trying to hurt each other whilst these breakdowns are going on and stuff.
We were just like, is this a vibe? Like, are we vibing? I don't know. All right, let's turn it up and see like what it's like if we played it live, sort of thing. And then if we enjoyed it, then that's what it came out as. Again, you know, we have so many different influences and so many different genres we listen to and stuff. We've never gone into a song being like, I want this song to sound like this artist. This song needs to be a pop punk song. We've gone into it being like, this song needs to be kind of a softer one or a heavier one to get sort of the balance of the album, because the album is kind of 50-50, sort of 60-40 split of sort of the soft and heavy stuff. And so we thought about that a bit, but we were never like, this song needs to be a pop punk song. This song needs to have all cleans. We can't have any breakdown. We can't have this. We can't have that. It needs to only be 4 chords or something. Like, we just kind of wrote whatever we enjoyed, and if we enjoyed it, we enjoyed it, you know.
I think the best thing as well to say, like, when people say like we managed to capture that, that's such a good feeling. But I think where it comes from, where we're actually able to capture that, is like me and Dex, we really enjoy, for example, A Day to Remember's new album. But no matter what, in every sense, we'll always listen to the old stuff. And I feel like because all of us kind of, we like, for example, with Alex, he doesn't listen to new Askin, he listens to old Askin. So the influence from old Askin. Yeah, say again.
The best Askin.
Yeah. So we all listen to our fair bit of like old school kind of albums. So I feel like the way we're able to capture our songs is because we're so used to hearing that kind of sound, like that old school kind of sound, instead of you know, like for example with A Day to Remember's new album, it's very different to say. Obviously it's enjoyable, but very different to what we try to capture.
I don't think A Day to Remember will be really caring what we think, Cain. So if you don't like it, you can just say like.
I'm saying, no, please be nice, because if you ever hear it, then I'll just cry. So like,
no, totally. Like we love the new album, but what I'm obviously saying, where we get our influence at it, when people say we managed to capture that, I think it's because we listen to so much like Homesick and stuff from their albums. Yeah,
I think it's just again like those songs that, you know, all the sort of the old sort of scene bands and old pop punk bands, you know, from say 10, 15 years ago, even going to like the early sort of Blink-182 stuff, like there's a reason why those bands got so popular doing what they were doing, and 9 times out of 10 it was just because the songs were just catchy as hell. They were just good songs. So you know we listen to the songs that, you know, resonate with us and still stick with us. And you know, I like, you know, we're trying to do this like deathcore thing where it's like basically like early Suicide Silence stuff, because we're like, no one's really doing that anymore. Everyone's kind of doing the same sort of thing where it's like a 7-string guitar in like that weird octave, you know, the drop F, and then it's like an octave above sort of thing, like the Architect sort of like do sort of thing for every song. And it's like, you know, we could do an album of that tomorrow, but we'd sound like every single other band doing it. Or
I feel like we've blended like deathcore with metalcore, where like you don't really hear like Suicide Silence screams with asking choruses, for example. Like, that's what I like about it.
Yeah, again, like we live in like a post-genre sort of world where like we just want to we just listen to everything, and we want to write everything, and we want to just do whatever we can, and we want to be able to basically play a show or to anybody or show somebody a song and be like, you'll like this one, instead of being like, you won't like us, we're deathcore. We want to be like, no, you won't like that song, it's deathcore, but you'll like this one. You know,
that's the perfect thing as well, because we can now manipulate all of our songs to play for certain festivals. So if we ever get asked to do Slam Dunk, we'd play the pop punk side of things. If we ever get asked to do like what is it that well,
like Bloodstock or
Bloodstock, yeah.
To be fair, Slam Dunk has got a fair few like metalcore bands on the show. It's got like Whilst You
Sleep.
But
it's like we are not going to just go and play a full deathcore set. You know,
I think me and you both know if we were asked to do Slam Dunk, we would pull out every single pop punk we've got.
Yeah, of course, but like I'm just saying, like wouldn't
definitely.
Be? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So yeah, that's the good thing. We now have enough songs to be able to be like, oh, we're doing Bloodstock, let's play the heaviest set we've ever done in our lives. Oh, we're playing you know, Leeds Festival for like people who are like not alternative as well. Let's just bring out the pop punk stuff. Like it's that simple now. So we get people being like, I don't like the pop punk stuff, but I really like the heavy stuff, and vice versa. So it's like it's perfect. Like no matter what, there's going to be someone out there who says, "Oh yeah, that's that. I like that side of things." So we'll just run with that, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've actually was gonna say, because you were talking about festivals and stuff. I've heard that a lot of the festivals in the UK are kind of the stuff of legends. Like there's some I've seen like online, just like the crowds being insane.
Yeah. I think the best one for that's like Download. Like
Download's like it's got this like legacy of just being like the best metal festival. I think it's fallen off in the last few years. Download now basically they just book the same like 5 legacy bands. They literally just book like Iron Maiden, Slipknot, System of a Down, Kiss, and then they'll just do that again 3 years later, sort of thing. So if you're like an old sort of metalhead, then knock yourself out, you'll love it. But it becomes quite tedious. Whereas like you've got, smaller sort of day festivals like Slam Dunk, which are, really bringing in those new bands and stuff. But yeah, for any of the alternative festivals, I've been to or we've seen about, there's definitely a really good sense of community there, especially with like Download and stuff. Like you can just, if you ask someone, they'll just buy you a beer, like, whereas you go to somewhere like Leeds or something, it's a bit weirder, but it's because, I mean, I'm not bashing it, but it's just because more of the scene and stuff, like any metal scene, any punk scene, there's going to be a bit more of a sense of community than anywhere else. And I think the UK's got that really sort of strong sense of community when it comes to metal and stuff, because we're such a small place and we've got such a strong community where it's like everybody is everybody. And it's a cool place to be. But fuck me, it rains every time there's a festival. It just rains.
It just rains every time there's anything, bro. It just rains. Just fucking rains.
Yeah.
Has to be a struggle.
I'll be honest, every festival I went to, it rained.
Yeah.
At least at one point.
Yeah, but like we're like it's to the point where like everything is mud. Like it's not
the
even
last
like just
download
a
was
light shower.
bad.
Mate, insane. Like it's insane. I've been to Download like 6 times, and I've only ever been to one Download where it was dry the entire weekend. Every other time, one year my phone got water damage from being in my pocket. That's how much it rained. It was just in my pocket. Open it up, water damage. That's how wet it is. So like, yeah, when we say rain, it's like floods. Actually, yeah, tents actually. Yeah, tents flooded like so much because the way the tents and stuff are laid out there. One was at the bottom of the hill, like one of the campsites, just full of water. Everyone
I remember where we were camping. I remember where we were camping, and it was like a little downhill down to another camp. And then I don't know if you were about, but it was literally like you see like just a water line just like slide down, and you just get people who were like almost fully nude, just sliding down like on the stomach, and it's the funniest thing on the planet.
I wasn't there with you, and I remember getting like photos and stuff of it, and I was like, you know what? Like I'd wake up at like midday, I'd be in bed like warm, comfy eyes, and I'd just be like, yep, I'm kind of glad I didn't go with you. Like you just look so miffed for the entire thing.
Yeah, it's grim.
It was ridiculous because the first few days it was absolutely pissing it down with rain, and then I got sunburned the last 2 days. And the reason
and didn't shut up about it for 3 months.
Mate, honestly, it was the worst thing ever. Like all of a sudden the clouds just disappeared, and then the sun came out, and I was there just like, yeah, great. I was just in the worst mood ever. Like the first day I got there, I was gonna just go home. I was like, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
So another dumb American question, because I watch British shows like Monty Python and stuff, and The Vicar of Dibley. Are you puddles like actually like 5 feet deep?
We've seen them, like not every puddle, but like some puddles are pretty grim. Like
you can definitely go for a swim.
Like, you'll definitely like if you step in one at least like 75% of the time, your entire shoe will just get piss wet through.
Yeah.
Like
is that big ones. I genuinely thought that was just like normal everywhere. Is that just a British
your
thing?
Puddles like
really?
Oh, right, okay, well then like because that's like just puddles to us, like they're not 5 foot deep. I've never been the worst I've ever been to a puddle is like halfway up my shin, which is probably
Jeez.
What?
No.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's like
get
big-
that what back roads maybe, but
Yeah,
like
as far as like in the normal street, I mean, you could have a doozy like that, but probably like half a shoe, worst case. No, not this like
no, more than that.
That's not
If
a
it's half a-
puddle. That is
if it's
not
half
a
no,
a
not
puddle.
shoe,
this
yeah,
urban foot spa type of shit. Jesus.
No, if it's half a shoe deep, that's British
That's not a
summertime. So
That's not even a puddle,
like,
bro. That's like
That's not. That's
just
like
a what? Yeah, that's just no.
someone's
That's
just
not even a
spilled a
puddle.
drink. Like
Yeah,
the thing is, in the US, haven't you like on the side of all your roads? There's like massive drains, isn't there, for the water?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like really big ones. So in the UK, there isn't that. Or if there is, it's really rare. We only have like the small square grids where it drains. So water drains a lot slowly. So when you're on the road will dip down to like a small grid and not a big box, and then it'll just puddle. Like
Oh.
you can have them like 6 meters long and like 4 meters wide. So if you drive past
there's
that,
one always around the corner from my house whenever it rains like fairly bad, and I've been
near that
walking
bus
down
stop?
there when car. Yeah. I've been walking down there before when it's been like that. And it's just every time a car goes past, you're like, please don't be a prick. Like, please don't just get me full of water.
yeah,
And it's like one of the most terrifying things ever. And it's like multiple times a month. Like, yeah.
easily, yeah. So I guess our puddles are pretty bad.
Wow.
Just compared to you guys.
Puddle noted. Puddle game strong in the UK. Got it.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Didn't expect to
I
be
could-
talking about that.
There's so
I
many
love it.
questions.
So many.
Well, yeah, keep them up because they're like so
I
fun.
love that.
Are you guys
Yeah.
more sad that Prince Philip died or DMX?
Yeah, man.
DMX.
I'm not-
Okay,
No,
I'm
go.
glad that transcended across the globe. Okay, great.
Yeah,
we're not
anyone
going
that's
that one.
actually like on a serious note, anyone that's upset that a paedophile and a racist died yesterday, just go fuck
Exactly.
yourself. Like,
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, yeah, we're in that boat. We're not that patriarchal.
I've heard that's kind of a divisive. Like I feel like what I've gathered is some people are into the monarchy and some people think it's hot garbage. That's kind of the
yeah,
vibe. It's very
fuck
polarizing.
the monarchy.
Basically,
Jesus.
50-50.
Like,
Yeah,
the only
it's-
good
it's
thing,
pretty-
the only good thing about the monarchy is that, like it has. I'm trying to make it sound like that money's the only good thing, but I'm sure we could have money without them on the front of it. So there isn't actually a good thing about the monarchy. Like,
There's a lot of corruption. There's definitely a lot of corruption, and there's a reason why Meghan and what is it, Harry? Correct.
nice one, Cain.
I left. Yeah, cheers,
There is a
man.
history.
But yeah,
Yeah, I wondered if there's some truth to like if they're saying that stuff that, and then you've heard like there's always conspiracies like Princess Di and different things that like maybe things are adding up. You know what I mean? That's the vibe.
Like I have no doubt in my mind, like no doubt in my mind, 100% of what we know is true, and that's only like a tenth of what happens. Like,
Yeah,
not to
it's
sound like a mad not to sound like some mad tinfoil hat guy, but
Yeah.
like you've got me on this one now. Like, nothing irritates me more than like the elite and people that stand up for the elite, because it's just all BS. And yeah.
Mhm.
And the people who are like, oh well, an old guy died. His wife must be so sad and stuff. It's like there's just like this documenting cases of him just being just like blatantly racist. It's like, just shut the fuck up. Like, how can you just ignore that? It doesn't matter like how like famous you are or how like much of a royal you are and stuff. It's just like, fuck off. Nah.
I mean, if
None of that.
like
So,
the way I come back to think about it is like, if he wasn't a royal, would
Yeah,
anyone give a
exactly.
shit?
Mhm.
And
if
the
he was
answer
in a
is
pop
evidently
punk
no.
band, he would have been cancelled.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's for the sake of integrity of that system. It has to be. I mean, mind you, America has their own flaws here too. We have plenty of shit.
Yeah.
That's what I gather anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly, like this briefly came up in like me and Cain's friendship group last night. We were talking about it, and I was just like, for the love of God, can we get away from it so we don't end up talking about it for 6 hours and screaming at each other? Because we had like different opinions in our group, and I was just like, this isn't going to end well for any of us. So like, let's move on and just chat shit about something rather than having a serious conversation. Whereas like, but it's hard because I understand why people don't want to believe it or don't want to believe certain things.
Mhm.
But
I think the question that you're probably wanting to ask, but not actually going to ask, is like, we don't give a fuck about the Queen. Like, half the UK doesn't care. You know, like, I didn't even know her name until like 6 months ago. Like, it's really, we're not that patriarchal. Yeah, I'm being hyperbolic.
I was gonna say,
but like, sure, that like a lot of people obviously they think that British is like, because we're a small, small town, small country, and it's all run by the monarchy and stuff. It's like most people don't give a fuck. If you give a fuck, you're like part of like the upper middle class and upper class, and it's like we don't want to.
I'd argue that you're probably part of the minority there if you do care about it. Like,
now
maybe that's because we're surrounded by people that don't. But out of my experience, like the majority of people actually don't care.
Like, it's also very much to do with the younger group, the younger generation. Like, the older generation obviously care more for this kind of stuff, and they don't see it the way that we see it. So, like, because our generation's so like we're so nitpicky and we always look into facts, and not many people see the truth. We're kind of the ones who are like, yeah, you might have loved these people for so long, but did you actually know this? We know this kind of stuff because we've done the research. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
like, it's like you don't care about what their status is. You're just looking at face value versus some people, I think, put their head in the sand because, like, wait, this is like what I grew up with. This is what I should look to as like inspiration or like, yeah.
Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, like, are you a good person or not? And if the answer is no, then why should anyone care? Like,
that's a great point.
I think that's why a lot of people, going off on another tangent as usual, I think that's why a lot of people really did get affected by like when Princess Diana died, because it was she seemed like such a sort of outcast of that group, and she's like a genuine person compared to the reptiles that live in like Buckingham Palace and stuff. Like,
exactly. It's like what Harry and Meghan, like, I was speaking to somebody the other day and they were talking about how like they've turned their back on the royal family and stuff. And I was just like, all they did was went on an interview and said that the royal family was racist and they don't want any part of that. How is that a bad thing? Like, explain to me how that's a bad thing, sort of thing. But,
and then people started going against Meghan and Harry for saying that. Like, what's that about? Like, that's ridiculous.
Sure.
That just proves how much power they actually have to manipulate people and be like, because they've said that about us. Let's be honest.
No, that's like a smallest percentage of their power. Like, that's just a small example. Like, can you imagine how much they actually have that we just don't know about? Like, again, I know I've got this tinfoil hat on my head. You can edit one on my head if you want during this editing. But like, honestly, I swear to God, like,
to be fair,
I don't care.
If Meghan and Harry said anything more than they were racist, if they have any more information, they'll probably just get, killed.
The same thing that happened with Princess Diana
thing. So you got to think about it that way. They could be in so much danger for what they've already said. So the question
was. Did
we
care more about DMX dying or Prince Philip dying? DMX we care more about.
Politics.
No, I was here for it. It's interesting because, and I'll be honest, like not so much my wife, but like my in-laws, like that side of the family, like they're fascinated by the royal family, and it's weird how like in America there's like this weird, like, not everyone, but there is like this fascination to it. I'm like. And I say it's in a funny way, but like we had a war that we were fighting to prevent that a couple hundred years ago. So like, it's interesting.
I think that's what it is. I think it's all just fascination. At the end of the day, it's not.
You guys have like the president, and then that's like the top, right? There's no like,
That's it. Yeah. So it's kind of like it's almost like if you just did Parliament with what you have, but there's no other thing. That's it. Like so. So for example, like Boris would just be at the top. That's it.
Yeah, that'd be
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Let's not talk. Can we just start talking about politics? Like, I know we're kind of 50% a punk band, but we could just go on for fucking hours if we're talking about politics.
Like, that's why we don't write songs about it, because the songs would be like half an hour long. It'd just be like,
We just wouldn't
Yeah,
stop, man.
It'd be like there'd
I
be
can see-
so many swear words in it. It'd be like this isn't even playable on Spotify. Like you'd have to come with like
I can see how the bridge.
parental.
And
yeah.
this article doesn't help the people in the 20% range.
Just straight
We
on, there's no
literally-
rhyming, just fucking
We
yelling.
literally
Like,
released
yelling,
a
like,
song.
yeah,
Like,
different
we released a song not long ago, which was just
If
called.
System of a Down was popular.
Yeah.
God.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
okay.
Yes.
Other British-related questions.
Tea.
Tea.
Do you drink tea a lot?
I like tea.
I
like
do.
iced
I don't
tea.
like
I
to.
love it. Tea's sick.
so what made me tea is it's very we drink tea a lot. It's like the nation's sort of pastime. It is like one of our drinks to drink. It's kind of 50-50 though. You either love it or you hate it.
It's
Yeah, I'm not a
specifically
fan.
your
It's really
that's
like,
that's the-
but there's so many different tea bag brands and stuff. Everyone
Bro,
argues about it.
being
But-
someone that doesn't drink it, it confuses me so much. Like,
Yeah.
what? It's tea.
Some
What
of
do
them
you
taste like
mean?
shit. Some of them taste like shit. Some of them taste like cigarette ash. Some of them taste really nice. But what I found out was really cool. So when you guys in the US go out to get essentials, so like essential food and stuff. What do you call essential food?
Like the essentials work, like just grocery store items, like the main food.
Yeah. So what though?
Well,
Because I've got a theory. So like
Crumpets.
give like a couple. Give a couple. I'll give a
Oh, like
couple.
things that we grab. Okay, like
Yeah.
eggs, or I don't really drink milk, but that, or bread, or like
Yeah, like salad helpings, water.
yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
when COVID became a thing, we could only
I know where
only
you're
go
going
out.
with this.
Yeah,
I know where
and
you're going with this.
I hate this. So we can only go out for essential shopping, yeah. And in the UK, essential shopping is bread and milk. Like that's like what we consider. If we only had like £1 to live on for a week or something, we get bread and milk because obviously water is free, and so. But the only time I ever know anybody in the UK that drink milk is when they have it in tea. So the UK is
Nah.
that obsessed. Yeah, shut up. The UK is that obsessed with tea. The UK is that obsessed with tea that when it became a global pandemic, they were like, everybody stay at home. But if you want a brew, knock yourself out. Like you could still go out and get that to make a brew. Like I think, So the UK is like it's that obsessed with tea. It is really that bad here.
I thought you were going to say about the toilet roll thing.
I think that was everywhere.
That
I'm just
was
on a-
just-
Toilet paper was definitely a crisis over here.
Yeah.
we had that bad. We had that bad.
Yeah, everybody poops Cain. Not everybody drinks tea.
To be fair, a cold glass.
Yeah.
Me and Cain have experience with milk. Like the best drink you can have when you come in from a night out is just a cold
Milk.
glass of milk.
It genuinely is impressive. It
It
sorts you out.
soothes the soul. It soothes the soul. Like
I remember coming back from a night out with Alex, and then we were doing shots of milk, and we were like, "Well, this is the best way to get sober shots of milk, not shots of alcohol, shots of milk." It was brilliant, honestly. I recommend it.
Yeah, I
When-
think you guys drink more milk than us. Well,
We have
Yeah.
the lactose problem.
that too, but I feel like no, America's more like if we're going hard in dairy, we go hard on fucking cheese.
Yeah. I mean, we do that as well.
If you look at cantaloupe the wrong way, we pour cheese on it. Like it's unhealthy.
We're not that bad here, but yeah, the UK and tea is definitely, it's probably like 90% of the population drinks tea, like religiously. I'll have like, me and Cain will drink brews all day long. My whole family drinks tea. It's like a rite of passage. Like once you hit like 8 or 9 years old, you have your first brew, and it's like that determines whether you're a British person or just like a degenerate.
I was just gonna say that.
Do
I'm a
guys have
degenerate.
chains
To be
there like
honest.
this or no? Do you guys
Yeah,
have-
we have.
Yeah.
We don't have chains for tea. We have like obviously like coffee chains. Like we have Starbucks and stuff. It's more coffee though. Like the only time you can nail tea is if you're making it at home. If you're getting a tea from somewhere else, it just tastes like shit. Like you can't get
Like-
tea in like a.
To be fair, sorry, I was gonna say like cheese is just hard milk in it. So like you're not like I was just thinking like you guys love cheese in Canada. Well, it's just hard milk for us. Like,
not even
we're-
from Canada,
we're
bro.
down.
Yeah, they're not even from Canada. Like
You're saying we like cheese boners. Yes, we do.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
so
but
funny.
fucking love them.
Killing babies and cheese boners. This is a hell of an episode.
I got funny.
That's a
questions.
new song.
That is your title though. That is your
Yes.
title.
Dead babies
That's
and cheese. Yeah. Oh, and Hitler's favorite holiday.
That was great.
That is a hell of a thumbnail. That is a hell of a thumbnail.
Yeah, I might have to.
Okay, before we get back to like the good stuff,
Yeah,
but
about
I have
you guys
another.
being
I have another funny
musicians. I feel bad.
One. I have another.
This is the good stuff. If
Yeah,
you're
okay,
watching
this is
this
the
and you're
highlight.
expecting better, leave. Like
No,
this is the
shit's
good
just
stuff.
clips for the weekly episode to hype people.
No, we
up.
have many clips for this one already.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's stupid, but as a sports fan, if you go into a certain pub and there's a soccer like thing going on,
Footy. They call it footy.
do you get like
Yeah, we call it
like
footy.
bullied and shit if you like Manchester or somebody else like
Oh,
Liverpool?
fucking bullied? That's like the nicest way of saying it. People get killed over football teams.
Stop.
They get actually stabbed. Like, so Cain's from Fleetwood, which is a town about 20-minute drive away from us. Like, really not
Yeah.
far. Like, you'll get a bus to go and see him and stuff. There's a football field in Fleetwood. I remember getting on the bus once, and there was crowds and crowds of people outside, and then there was like more police than people, because that's how fucking rough it gets here. Like, football hooligans are a thing. There's people who just go to football games to fight. They don't give a fuck about who it is. They'll just go and fight. It's the stupidest thing in the fucking world.
I feel like
Go
we're
to a
domesticated compared to the UK with sports.
Yo,
They go hard.
yeah, no, we're apes. Yeah, we're apes. It's disgusting. Football is aggressive. Like, tea and football. Don't even.
I remember
like,
trying to
get
explain
started.
football to you that gig when we did that acoustic show in Darwin, and there was that game on the TV, and you hate football, so I was
I
trying to
don't,
like explain it to you, and I was just kept commentating over it, and you were just like, "Shut the fuck
Shut
up!"
the fuck up. I don't care. I don't care about football. Like,
But the
yeah,
thing
it's like
is,
one of those
like,
things.
Yeah. Like, we don't like football, but me and Alex will play so much FIFA, mainly
In fact,
because
I
like,
do love a game of football.
oh yeah, a good game of FIFA sorts the soul out. But
to be
actual
fair,
football
a good game of FIFA doesn't
sort your
exist.
soul out.
A game
Good
of
and
FIFA
FIFA
and
in
a
the
shot
same
of milk.
sentence.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
night in
shit.
that.
So
Wait,
does
what was the
anyone have a
question?
team in like that they like to follow in Premier League or?
I follow Manchester City, but before I get like a load of abuse for being a glorious supporter, I supported them before they were good. So, anyone in the comments, go away.
That's like me with my band.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're still not good. That's
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
No.
what was the actual question about football? Something through the pub?
Yeah, like is it basically as aggressive as it is you go in and you're basically like dead if you're rocking like
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, it depends on. I think it depends on the game. It depends where you are as well. If you go to like a Manchester pub, a Manchester game in a Manchester pub wearing like a Liverpool shirt, I think you're gonna
like
get more.
certain pubs have certain teams. So like if you go to like a Manchester United pub in a Manchester City shirt, you're not coming out of that pub alive. Like
Yeah, it gets pretty aggressive. It does get pretty aggressive. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. It's the stupidest thing. But yeah.
Wow, I thought we were bad. Please.
No, I've heard. I mean, not that I've been over there, but I've heard the stuff of stories that there's been some. Actually, they did like a 30 for 30 on one, didn't they, on ESPN or something? I don't know.
I mean, Ireland has a city called Stab City anyway, so.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. We're not painting the UK in a pretty good light, are we?
No, I think it's fascinating. You know what? It's
It
good.
is.
And actually, if you have any American questions, we're here for that too.
I think the way you're asking British questions are kind of answering a lot of the questions I have about America. So,
my biggest thing is like I can't believe how big like your like for example how much more food you get in like fast food restaurants, and it's so much cheaper as well.
Yeah,
Like-
that is something I've heard of. Yeah.
It's all chemicals though.
Well, that or
Well,
we
yeah.
have it's a lot of it's government subsidies too. So like, there's a lot of things that get like a kickback from the government to the farmers, and I think that's why it's like, oh yeah, of course we'll get a potato subsidy. We'll chuck in like 3 more potatoes worth of fries.
Yeah.
right, yeah. One of my big questions is, so like for us, driving probably more than 2-3 hours is kind of like a day out for us. Like, so if we drove to like Manchester, which is like an hour and 20 minutes away or something, that's like going for a day out. Like you kind of plan for that. You don't just kind of really do it on a whim or anything. That's not really the same for you though, is it? Because obviously America is such a bigger place that like an hour drive is usually just like someone's commute to work. So what's the deal there? Like what's like the furthest? When does something become kind of too far for you to sort of, like say if you're buying something, you're like, oh, we'll go pick it up. It's only an hour away, or is it like, it's more than 6 hours, so I might want to just maybe bring a drink with me.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say, because we live in Vermont and there's stuff in our area. We're in like the southern part of the state, but to go to like maybe where like there's bigger malls and stuff, like Albany, New York, for example, that's about an hour and 45 minutes away. So that's like something we would do for the day. Like, yeah, just go down there, a couple stores, come back. It seems like 2 hours is kind of like that limit where it's like, all right, that's just a quick jaunt. Anything longer than that, it's kind of like a day trip where you're doing the weekend. Like we're 3 hours from Boston, for example. Right. So I've done a day trip down there, but we also, you could say you could stay overnight. That'd be kind of the way to look at it. But yeah, it's weird. Like anything that's like even like 4 to 6, it's longer, but it's not too bad. A real like road trip is until like you're hitting like 8+.
It's kind of the same then, I guess.
Like to Florida, for like a vacation. That's like a 24-hour straight drive.
I'm from New Jersey, and that's like a 4-hour drive, and we leave like at fucking noon and get there at 4. Okay, cool, we're here. Like, but like you said, that's like 8 hours. That's like, oh shit, this is gonna be a long trip.
Yeah. Like the furthest we've driven for a show is I think 9 hours, and we went there the day before. Spent that day kind of recovering from the drive, did the show after.
Different country.
Well, yeah, we were going from the UK to the top end of Scotland, so it was through countries and stuff.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's weird because like we forget, because obviously we're used to the UK and it's like, well, it's a big place because we live here and stuff, but the UK is like, I think like smaller than Florida or something. Like the UK is tiny, it's really small, so it's weird seeing like, people sort of like the size difference of traveling and like how like one of your states is bigger than our country and things like that. Like it is just a bit of a weird one. But
no, it's pretty wild. We're one of the smaller states, but yeah, like there's like New York's pretty big, or Maine, like physically wise.
Unfortunately, and I'll probably get hate in the comments, but we like to flex too much. We like to be like, hey, look at us.
Big.
We beat you guys.
It's like, yeah, definitely.
Fuck up.
To be fair though, I think like a lot of our questions get answered because there's a lot more like like US TV shows and stuff as well. But as long as like that sort of stuff really isn't like super caricaturized, then we probably kind of have a better grasp on the US than you guys do on the UK.
That's valid.
You know what's interesting about your TV shows, especially reality shows? Everybody's everybody's so nice. Like the baking show, like they're like, oh my god, like you did so good, and then like here it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're
but you got to remember we do have Gordon Ramsay.
That's
so
and like British Bake Off and stuff is filmed in like the richest part of the country.
Yeah.
You did that like in this town, like literally people would be stabbing each other over flour. What I've noticed about TV shows though, because I watch like a shitload of Kitchen Nightmares and a shitload of like Hotel Hell and stuff like that.
Me too.
The US version and the UK version, obviously it's filmed one's in the US and one's in the UK, but the editing is so different. It's insane. Like if you watch the US version, it's all like the quick cuts and like loads of like dramatic music and like repeating swear words and stuff like that. You watch the UK version, it's like they'll film like birds to open it. They'll be like, oh, there's a little pub just on the side of the town. And then you'll just see like some old woman walk past, and then Gordon Ramsay will be like shaking everybody's hands and stuff. Then he goes to the US and he's like, fuck you! Like that's the entire show, you know what I mean? So it's like that.
Oh, it really is.
It's insane. I never noticed until I was binging Kitchen Nightmares. I didn't realize how weird the editing was, but like it's fucking insane. Any US show being edited is like someone on crack is editing it, and then you watch the UK version, it's like they're just asleep for the whole thing.
It's the lack of attention. Yeah. We have so many things that are like at us, so it's like, a cat, squirrel. Like
I agree. Yeah. I watched one on Hulu that was like one of his like French shows. I'm like, what the fuck? This is so calm. It's like a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, it's it's like boring.
Do you guys have Coronation Street? Like, can you stream Coronation Street or Emmerdale? No, because like, think about it.
Okay, so what's that? Break it down. Slow down. Was that Coronation Street?
You don't know what Coronation Street is?
No.
Where's the leave button?
Yeah.
Really? Like, is this a joke?
No, Coronation Street is just a British thing. It's just,
No, I know that, but like, I thought it would be streamed over there somewhere.
you could probably find it if you go on like
Yeah,
BBC
probably.
or something.
Oh, it's gonna sound.
but,
If we
like,
explain it, it's
like
gonna
a
sound so
show.
bleak.
Yeah, it's a soap opera.
Oh, okay.
It's just like people from Manchester. It's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Twice on Monday, twice on Friday, once on Wednesday.
Is it on
7:30,
ITV?
8:30. Yeah.
Oh, you can watch it then because ITV has catch up, so you could find it. You just need to go on ITV. It's like BBC
I need to go
iPlayer.
into this
Like,
I mean, I will say they have better shows than we do.
I mean,
Mm.
Their TV,
It's like
Oh,
it's when you put like The Office UK and The Office US together. Obviously, The Office US is way better in every
I prefer
aspect.
the UK one, you know.
Nah, never.
Oh, no.
Mainly because the cast in the US one is like
the cast is good.
impeccable. It's perfect.
Yeah, well, Ricky Gervais is a genius, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
He
well,
is,
he wrote both of them, didn't he?
He did write
If
both
you
of
wanted,
them,
if you wanted a show that really shows off like fucking like how British certain parts of this country can be and stuff, you need to watch a show called This Country.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
It's on
Oh
It's
no!
on BBC.
100%.
It's on BBC iPlayer. It's called This Country. It's 3 seasons long, and it's
it's the
about
best thing ever.
it's fucking incredible. It's about this little town in the Cotswolds, which is like a small village in like the West Midlands,
Okay.
like a really small town, like probably a 5-minute drive through the whole place. And it's just these two people just existing in that village and like what they get up to. But like, it's probably like one of the most British things because it just shows, you know, how they talk, you know, what certain people like do for jobs and like how we consume things and how like, you know, we all like eat dinner in front of the TV and stuff like that. Like, definitely, if you want like an eye opener to like British culture, I think that's something you should definitely watch. It's more
know
of like
how
on
you,
the
Sorry,
Go on.
Bondek. I was just going to say,
Just
you
say-
know how you said about Vicar of Dibley? It's
Yeah.
like that, but so much more explicit and a little bit more
Yeah.
rude. So you probably, it's
it's fucking
you probably
incredible.
love it.
There's this
It's
joke
very
on it where
what I notice about your shows is like you guys are like so free, like nudity and F words. It's like here, it's like no, you can't do that. But over there,
Yeah.
it's like they say anything. It's like
We must
It's
protect
part of our-
baby
it's part of our
Jesus,
language,
RJ.
swearing for
Protect
all of us
Jesus.
is the normality.
yeah, like a lot of our like swear words and stuff. I think there's this weird like flip where say stuff that we'd say kind of as like a passing sort of phrase would probably like actually be a verbal attack to someone in the US.
Yeah.
Like we just say, you know, obviously like just the culture is like so different that like we can say certain words that you guys have classed as swear words and stuff, and we'll just say them.
whoa.
You know,
Yeah,
from
I mean,
the day
Isn't the
before and
C
stuff.
word like the most probably noticeable difference? Like you guys just say it's like passing.
Or
Yeah.
cunt.
Yeah.
That one.
Is
Yeah.
that bad?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, but here
Yeah,
that's
but
probably the
it's a really
equivalent of if you take the N word, then the next most egregious one is that. That's how
Really?
like gnarly it is.
Oh, really?
It's the last 5
Oh.
years.
Jesus.
It's a
Wow.
term of endearment here. Like
Yeah.
we're like
Actually,
like,
I would say fuck is more casual in the US. than-
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah,
I can't
pretty
think of a
much.
day since Cain joined the band that I haven't called him the C word. Like,
Yeah.
I like
That's how we just that's how we say hello to each other. Like, all right,
Yeah.
Are we
something
are we
like that,
bleeping
you
it
know what
out
I mean?
now? Are we like bleeping it out now for like just like the cultural sort of
yeah,
difference?
let's just be nice
I'll
and not
just
say
still
it.
because
No,
like
I mean it's fine because we're not calling someone that. But yeah, no, it's just like
no,
it's interesting. I know that's a drastic difference.
I agree with him.
Yeah,
Mighty Python stuff would never last here if it was made here.
yeah,
It would
No,
never
definitely
last.
not. Yeah, no, not at all.
I mean,
Not
I
at
die
all.
laughing. I think it's hilarious. But like, if that was made here, that'd be canceled one season easily.
Yeah, pretty much. It's weird because like you guys, I think you just kind of get louder, but you don't get more aggressive. You just get louder. Whereas if we argue with someone, we'll just be like, "I will stab you," sort of thing, and then like you guys are just kind of like, "You're a big meanie," like you know,
Come
like,
at me, bro. Come at me. Yeah.
yeah. It's like that's it. We're like, no, we will cut you. Like, so there is that sort of divide there where I think we get a little bit more numb to things like that, sort of from day one. Like British primary schools are like,
Oh my god.
it's just like a war field. Like you learn
Yeah.
every swear word there. I fucking like the jokes where you tell like your new best friend who's just learning swear words to go and call a teacher like a fucking bastard or something, and you'd be like, oh, it just means like I love you sort of thing. Like that's how you learn every swear word in the UK, like just on the playground when you're 8. And
I
then
think
from then you
if,
just having a collective knowledge of it.
in your first year of like high school, first 2 years of high school, if you don't swear in every other word, then you get put so far down the pecking order for the next 3 years of school that you might as well just change school. Like, yeah.
Swearing here is like it's
thing.
insanely different. Like it's so different.
It's so fascinating. I love it.
It is like if you ever saw Life of Brian, you'd be like, "Holy shit, they're making fun of Jesus! What the fuck?"
Oh yeah, we do that like
hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I feel like there's times when I'm on like my Apple Music subscription, I'll actually like vibe more with the top 100 UK charts than like the US charts. And that's actually
grime is like one of the grime is one of like the best genres in the world. You know, like Storm.
Yeah, grime is highly underrated. Not that I know
grime is
on it, I'm not gonna like BS it, but when I've like just shuffled some, I'm like, dang, this stuff goes hard.
No, they got some really good bands over there. Like I know we talked earlier, but he mentioned Neck Deep and Asking Alexandria. Like I'm like, I forgot they're British. Like it's so crazy how many good bands are over there.
Yeah, where else are they from? They're from York, aren't they?
Yorkshire,
Yeah.
Yorkshire.
Technically Saudi Arabia, but yeah.
And then Net Deeper from Wrexham, which is a town in North Wales.
I think they live in Brighton now, actually. I think they all moved up there. I remember seeing something like that. But yeah, either or England.
And there's like Burnley While She Sleeps, both from Sheffield.
Yep.
I mean, you got Boston Manor that are from Blackpool.
Yeah.
It's weird. I think like US kind of create these genres and make them popular, and then like the British bands who are inspired by them just take it and just sprint headfirst with them, and then they're the ones who become the forefront of it.
It's just like a weird weird connection since we managed Boston Manor. So we mentioned Boston Manor. So at my like day job, I work at the same place as the guitarist of Boston Manor used to. Which is just a really weird connection because we're both in similar bands and we both work at exactly the same, the legit same shop. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was thinking about classic rock bands because you were talking about how we create genres.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I think my top 3 classic rock bands are all from England. Like Sabbath and The Clash and The Stones and The Beatles and Zeppelin. It's like crazy.
Yeah, we just don't like, we kind of let you guys come up with the idea. And then we just take from every band that you guys bring out, and we're like, all right, we'll just do all this but better.
And then we did it first, duh.
Yeah. So like,
you brought it out. Like, to be fair, like you brought it out, and we just listened to it and be like, that's good. And then we've just been like, we've had like all of them to put together rather than one band. So to be fair, like, yeah.
No, honestly, outside of a few acts, I feel like, especially in the last, well, you guys have been doing it for longer in the last 50 years, but Canada in the last 10, I feel like we'll create something and then Canada and England like perfect it.
I think Australia are worth mentioning as well. Like,
do they do Aussies?
Australia with the metal stuff, Australia is mad.
Yeah, like Parkway, Amity,
and the pop punk, the new pop punk, like Australian pop punk bands are
stuck out from Australia are insane.
Isn't Belmont from Australia?
Say again.
I'm not sure that Belmont. I thought they were US.
Possibly, yeah. But then you got to think about it this way. Like, yes, there's these good bands, but like, who's the biggest band in the world? Tell me.
I don't know, like the Beatles. Queen, the Beatles.
Where are Queen from?
Yeah. The UK.
Exactly. There you go. Boom.
I don't know, because like you could argue like
Go on.
You could argue like Metalcore or
whole following here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's weird is like
me and Alex were talking about it the other night. We were like, "Is there
no. You were talking about it, and I was just laughing at you.
No, I was right. So I said to Alex, I was like, "How far can you actually push music? Like, is there any way of being able to push music so far that you can kind of like get to the point where Queen is like maybe Ice Nine Kills for us? Like, Ice Nine Kills are a metalcore band. They're not massive. They're not like Bullet from the Valentine, but they're down there. They're like, oh shit, yeah, I know who they are. But like, is there any way to like get to a point where you're so big that that's the case? And me and Alex were kind of like, it's so easily dismissible music nowadays. that you can't just like, obviously Queen went through tapes and tapes and tapes, and like no matter what, I don't think there's any way someone's going to be able to be like, oh yeah, we've got to that level because Queen were just.
It's because like music's so disposable now. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Realistically, like whenever you hear about a band, like how often do you actually go and buy something of them or something like that, or do you just pay a subscription every month for like Apple Music or Spotify and listen to them on there? Like,
yeah, and back in the day when Queen were playing, everyone was lining up outside to like just meet.
You like
them.
Queen, Cain?
Say again. No, I'm just making a point, sweetheart.
My dad met them before they were like big. Just
really?
What was
Wasn't your dad in? Oh wait, no, that's someone who came to our gig and someone thought your dad was in that band.
Oh God! Right, so do we tell that story? Right, so my dad growing up was in like just in a band, just played like locally like random bits of covers and stuff.
What band was it?
It was in a random one, but a band next to the band in the same area, like literally his best mates was Saxon.
Saxon, yeah.
And my dad could have been in, but he just didn't choose to be in it. So I got that mixed up once, trying to impress someone, and said it was because their favorite band was Sabaton, and I thought I kind of just went, yeah, he was in Sabaton. He wasn't in Sabaton. He wasn't even in Saxon. But,
yeah, they're Swedish.
But he had jokes on them because they believe me. So.
It was so funny. He just ran with it, and I loved it.
I was like, yeah.
His wings.
That's so funny.
Oh God,
Jesus! This is a hell of a wormhole. I love it.
Oh, this is gonna be two parts. It's gonna be like USA versus England, and then octopus stuff.
Cool.
I was trying to think of the last thing we asked him about them because we should probably.
We can go back.
Oh yeah, let's talk about ourselves more. That'd be fucking beautiful.
Now let's just talk about random shit. Like that's all we're here for. Like we're just impressed. We just can't believe that people actually want to talk to us because we just chat shit all the time. Like,
I mean, like I was on a deathcore playlist on Spotify, and Voices came on. I'm like, this is fucking good. And then I'm like, oh, they're kind of new-ish. Let's hit them up. And then you're like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, cool. Let's go.
Yeah, we're like,
it's
we
weird.
fucking love talking to people about it.
Yeah.
Like, we're still
you
getting
tell that
used
we
to
like didn't have any friends growing up.
Yeah, we latch on. But yeah, we're still getting used to all, like being hit up by people and wanting to do interviews. Like, so we're freaking loving it. Like, we're absolutely loving just sort of talking about stuff. And I think that's why we keep going on tangents and stuff, because like we're not used to like actually just chatting to somebody and kind of getting the point across without just dragging it out as long as we possibly can. Like,
your sound's so unique too. Like a lot of bands cannot do that mix. Like maybe Silverstein can do it pretty well. Like they have a good mix of screaming and the punk side, but like I think you guys do it so well, and it's so hard to find nowadays.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, we've been compared to Silverstein before, I think.
Yeah,
sort of like the post-hardcore sort of stuff, but like we kind of, I don't know, like I didn't really kind of get the genre of post-hardcore for a while until people started saying it was what we were doing, and I was like, I kind of get it, like, but I don't know. Again, genres are such a loose term now; it's kind of hard to just say,
Yeah, it's so loose right now.
like I don't know. I feel like genres like as a thing like slowly like sort of dying.
Yeah.
Like obviously you have like a million Spotify playlists for different genres and stuff, and obviously like I feel like it might just get to a point where it's like heavy music, pop music, soft music, rather than having like all these like sub-genre playlists, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
it should go off like a vibe more than an actual genre. Like,
Mm-hmm.
You want aggressive songs, like an indie song can be aggressive, an EDM song can be aggressive. And that could match a lot closer than an emo song to a deathcore song. Like you could put something like that. It's more about the vibe, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I think that's a valid point. I think a lot of the top playlists are more emotional based, like summertime jams or car songs or, breakups.
I don't get that one. I don't get what makes a song a car song.
You should know. We've driven enough times to enough shows. You should know what a car song is.
No,
now.
but like I don't
A
get
car
it.
song is
It's
like How You Remind Me by Nickelback. It's
Yeah,
like,
You know
like-
that Florida song that we had on?
Wow, 2 weeks
Oh
ago,
my God.
Nickelback mention. I
I
love it.
know, love it.
Oh,
The
bro,
one
we love
had was from,
Nickelback.
Ontario in Canada. So we were asking about all the Canadian things. So
oh yeah.
Nickelback
what-
was referenced. I love it.
we love Nickelback.
The one time
no-
Nickelback's cursed. The one time we played.
Oh yeah, we almost
Nickelback-
got arrested.
We got pulled over.
Yeah.
We almost got
I got
arrested.
pulled- we turned Nickelback on. We were like, "Yeah, mate, that's work, man." And then the lights came on, and they just pulled me over. And he was like, "Yo, you need to get breathalyzed now." And we like turned Nickelback down. It was like,
And me and
oh,
Alex
no.
were in the back. Me and Alex were sitting in the back, just pissing ourselves with laughter.
And there's like some
"Turn it up, turn it
policeman
up."
at the and there's some policeman at the window. Me and Cain was like, "This is hell," and like queuing like the rest of that album. So like someday. I know way too many Nickelback songs to even take the piss out of them.
That's
There's
so
only been
funny.
like, I think like the best story running. I know this is completely getting off chat, but like the best story of running with the police is when we were in Scotland, and we were staying at this like mate's
God.
house. We had a gig there, and I remember we these guys, this band called Bitterwood, who are like
What genre are they? They call themselves new
Yeah.
metal.
yeah,
Like a-
yeah.
Did it?
Like a
But they're really
Yeah.
hard hitting kind of
Yeah.
like we're not to loose band.
like a-
And they
They're
came
fucking
in.
sick.
hardcore band with rapping and shit. It's well fucking cool.
Yeah.
You should check them out.
They came in and they were really drunk and they were just like dancing around, singing and like just like beat down dancing, like throwing hands and
Like
stuff.
crowd killing. and
Cain, I
stuff,
think
yeah.
you should do it. I think you should do a demonstration, Cain. I think you should like just do as a demonstration of it, just so we
No,
know
no,
what.
no,
you,
no,
what
that's not.
Yeah. Yeah, go on, no, I think you should. I think you should. I think you should. No, we know you can do a good one. Like, just put your shirt to the side and just do it quick.
All right. That's all I'm doing.
All right.
Anyway, like I was saying,
Guest punching camera on show. Check. That's off the bucket list. Okay, great.
I do that a
Oh,
lot. I tend to punch my camera a lot, especially when I'm trying to do videos for the band. But they ended up leaving at like I think it was like 1 a.m. Then we get a knock on the door.
That was
and
way
then-
later than that, bro. There's someone's
It's like
coming.
5 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ross runs into the living room. It's like, oh fuck, the police are here. So what Ross does is, bear in mind, Ross is like almost completely naked, jumps over the couch where Davina's sleeping, like literally dives over the couch.
Dolphin
Lewis
dives in.
comes in, and because earlier he was messing around with knives, like just like joking around with them. He's like, shit, I need to put the knives away.
You stood there like holding. God, that
Yeah.
fucking that weekend.
We should probably mention that the reason that the police were called was because of noise complaints, not for anything like actually serious. Like,
Yeah,
they were just
They
crowd killing in the living room.
They walk in, and then me and Alex are just like, what happened? Because we were on our phones and we said to them like we were sleeping or something.
they come in and like, what you doing, lads? Just like sleeping. We're both sat up butt.
Davina's there, just like it's the fucking boys again. Like every time, Davina's like the least person to start. It's always me, Alex, and Deck who somehow gets in trouble.
Yeah. Davina's like the caretaker, I guess. She's like the mum. She's the one who gets all of us in track. If we argue and stuff, she's the one who tells us all shut the fuck up and sit down and just get on with it and stuff, you know.
Naughty stuff and that.
The
But she's
soccer
always
mom
sort
of the group. Got it.
Yeah, but she's like always there, just quietly watching us get in trouble as well. Like she never leaves. She's like there alongside us, but she's just quiet the whole
She's
time.
like that woman in Monsters Inc. That's a bit rude. I didn't mean it like that.
Oh,
I mean
God.
like in the scene.
Always watching.
Yeah, that bit. I'm glad you got. I wasn't, Davina, if you're watching, I wasn't calling you an alien. I was.
I'm on.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to be rude. I've only got like 15 minutes left. I'm happy to leave and you guys can carry on. But are there any questions you want to like specifically ask me
I
before
have
I leave?
a couple, and then we'll come back and we'll end it.
Yeah, that's
In
completely
fact,
fine.
me and Cain can stay for as long as we want. I
That's
just know
true.
you're
We
at
can
work,
do that
aren't you?
too, 'cause-
Yeah, I'm not bothered. I just have to leave. I just don't want to miss out on anything key that I feel like I might want to have an input on. So if you have any like sort of
He has
quick
a
fire
bloody
questions,
train to catch. There's always something.
I'll actually I'm gonna have tea with the Queen, so I can't like miss that, you know.
Bro, you gotta send it.
So,
But
yeah,
she's
let's-
single now, so
because I have
Yeah.
yeah, I do have a specific question for Alex, but let's talk like a group, like the album.
Yeah, spend like speak to Deck for like 15 minutes, and then me and Cain can literally just sit here and go down about 12 rabbit holes. Like you'll be impressed how many rabbit holes we can go down in
so
one.
if you have any questions about sort of the recording side of it, mixing, what we do live or anything, that's all me. If you have any questions about the actual sort of technical side of stuff, then fire away.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the album, because debut album.
Yeah.
I noticed that, like, did you guys record this by yourself, or did you have a producer? Because it seems like very well produced.
I recorded it and produced it.
I'm not gonna lie, Dex. Like, I'm gonna just insult you here, because I can, and also it is a compliment. So you know, like genuinely, like out of anyone that I've ever worked with in music wise, like genuinely, I was surprised at how good he is at doing like mixing and stuff. Like I remember when I was in my old band and you came to me at that show. Do you remember? And you were like, "If you need anything mixing, come to me."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, mate, yeah, sure." And then when I joined, I was like, "Fuck!" Like he's actually quite good at this. Like he's a genuine like. Yeah.
So the song, so I mixed it, produced it all, kind of, you know, sort of going down the production side of it. Obviously, I had an input in writing almost every single song in some aspect or the other, just kind of be like, maybe we should change this, maybe we should change that. Me and Alex wrote everything, sort of lyric wise, instrument wise, structure wise, and stuff. Cain and Davina came in with their own input on drums and bass and everything. But yeah, I produced it and mixed it, and then it got mastered by Andrew Wade. You know, who sort of, he's worked with Motionless in White, Net Deep, A Day to Remember, Wage War, Attila, fucking the guy who you wanted to, you know, for like, you know, just being like metalcore or pop punk. That's the guy you go to. So we got it mastered by him. He then kind of post mixed it a little bit as well. Compared to my masters, it's not a massive difference though. I think the snare just kind of cuts through a little bit more, and there's a little more
just
low
had
end.
like more low end and stuff on it. Like it wasn't a huge difference, but it was like still like if you played them through like headphones or like cheap headphones, you probably wouldn't notice. But if you play it through like a fucking big system, it was like there was a difference.
Yeah,
there.
The sub low was really good. So I mixed it. To answer that question.
Wow, that's awesome.
It does sound really good.
Thank you. Yeah, it took a lot of fucking time to mix that. The amount of revisions and the amount of, you know, remixing, starting over, re-recording stuff. It was like 6 months at least.
Yeah, I hated. I remember like not wanting to, like, you know, when you wake up and you're just like, I don't want to look at my phone. I know I'm gonna have to like. I know you had to put so much work into doing the like revisions and stuff, but because we were trying to get it so perfect, it was like every day it's just like going through each revision. It's like, like you smash this bit and then you hear something else, like, and it's like, fuck. Like I felt really bad for you because I knew how much time you were spending on doing it. Like
it was gross, but I really enjoy it. Like the reason I have to leave soon is because I'm going to a studio I work at to record a rapper. So that's why I have to I have to go, because I like doing, you know, every sort of genre. So I mixed it all and stuff, you know, in my garage. It was in this room here, if you want to have a quick look. It's where we kind of rehearse and stuff. Nice. Big sort of
nice set.
Big room. And then like there's my desk here with like all my, you know, speakers and shit like that. And I'm just a bit of a nerd when it comes to all that sort of stuff. I really like that side of it.
That's dope. I was curious about a song you guys wrote that I liked on the album. I really liked "Grow Up." What was kind of the backstory on that one?
I wrote that song, so I can just speak about that one. So I remember when we were writing it, I had this kind of, I had like the first verse kind of written, like mix of caffeine and that sort of bit, and like late nights doing me harm and stuff. And I was like, all right, I need to build something else up. And those two were getting really pissed off with me because I was trying to write this song and getting really annoyed with them. Those two left to go get a KFC, because there's a KFC like a 5-minute walk down from my house. When they came back, I had the chorus written on acoustic guitar, and I was like, this song sounds so much like a Real Friends song that we have to run with it. I remember Cain replying, hang on, I think my earphone just died. One second.
Yeah. I can hear
you. We still hear you.
All right, cool. Just good timing anyway, really. yeah, so I was like, I remember Cain listening to it being like, oh, I don't know, like we can work on it. It might be all right. I don't really know, sort of thing. I was like, fuck it, I'm running with it. And I ran with it. And I was like, this song is like my baby. I'm going to fucking write it. I'm going to have as many harmonies as I can with it. I'm going to have so much dynamics. And I'm going to have this and I'm going to have that. And I'm going to have this like mad breakdown and stuff like that. The song itself, it kind of just became about really just like not giving up and not listening to people sort of telling you to sort of, you know, grow up and to like give up on what you want to do and things. Like, you know, there's a reason why we put this much time and effort into things. And it becomes very annoying when obviously people are like, you know, like, oh, well, you know, just get a job and like, you waste all your time doing this, you know what I mean? Because like the amount of times everyone gets told that doing anything creative is mad. It's kind of just about like the self-affirmation of being like, you know, I'm completely happy with who I am. I'm happy with where I am. You know, I'm doing my best to kind of get better at doing certain things and stuff. But realistically, I am what I am, and like, just deal with it. You know, like I'm used to it. I'm getting better. You know, I still listen to the same songs. You know, I still do the same sort of things. I'm still a fan of all this like stupid fucking childish music where they sing about like fucking dogs in the ass and stuff like that. Like, but at the end of the day, like, you know, you're the one telling me to grow up. And that's only because you've had to do it yourself. So just shut up, you know, because they're the sort of people who, you know, like, again, with the lyrics, it's like, it's a mix of arrogance and ignorance. Like, you think you're better than me, but you don't fucking know anything about me. You know, like, shut up. You really don't know where I've been. You don't know what I've done. You don't know the amount of effort I've put into doing this. And I'm the one who's reaping the rewards at the end of the day. So it's a you problem. You know? Yeah.
That's dope, dude. Yeah, I can understand that completely. Because I feel like we're all kind of in the same age group too. So I think it's a relatability.
Yeah.
That millennial vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, are we at that point?
I want to ask Alex a specific question. So I noticed on Voices, especially the first time I heard it, your vocal range for screaming. It's very different, very good, by the way.
Thank you.
But it has that like a high range, but it doesn't have like a low range. It has like a mid range and super high. Kind of reminded me of Danny Filth the first time I heard it. So
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
How did you come about that? Like, did you just start screaming? Like Mike Fiction said that he just got angry and it just came out. Like, did you have that, or did you?
No, it's weird because I mean, a lot of people expect it to kind of be the other way around with like me and Deck, because I'm sometimes the quiet one out of the two of us, so it's kind of confusing. But like, I remember I was in a shitty covers band before this band, and we did we used to do a Foo Fighters song that had screaming near the end of it, so that kind of made me. I remember we practiced it, and it was in our college like rehearsal rooms, and someone that I had on Snapchat had like recorded it from outside and put it on their story, to, like taking like the piss out of like how bad the screams were. It sounded like a chicken being like choke slammed. Like, it was awful. Like, and so it kind of from there I was like, I kind of just need to prove to myself that I can do it. So I basically managed to sort of through like YouTube videos and just, to be honest, mainly just through sort of forcing myself to do it, through like to get like that mid range sorted. And then when I very first started in this band, it was mainly just mids. And then I don't know what happened. Like, I remember starting to listen to a lot more like Asking, Wage War, that sort of thing, that had like more than one, like the pitch goes, like somehow the pitch goes up and down in like screams, like going from highs, lows, and that kind of thing. And it's just like, I wanted to really incorporate the heavy stuff into the really heavy stuff. So like make our heavy sound heavier, because it goes with the soft stuff being like catchier. And it was just a case of like, I don't know. I remember the first time we tracked highs at the studio, and do you remember it, Dick? Because it was funny, like we did it and it was like, it just sounded really weird without like compression and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember when we were recording. It was either Now I'm Gone or Vendetta. I don't know which one it was, but I remember being in the same room as you while you were recording, and like, it's like when it's not put all together, it sounds like it still sounds really cool. Like, there's something about like non-mixed mastered vocals that's kind of like you don't get on albums. Like if you hear us live, sometimes genuinely we get people saying, "Oh, you sound so sick live," because it's not like it's you know, when you on album, it's so put together, it's so tight, it's so in time. When you play live, you can do your own thing. You know what I mean? So like you can like branch out, but with that, like when he was recording vocals, I was just sitting there like, this sounds sick, and then obviously it came together with the album. But yeah,
it's
But
a
yeah,
lot of it's a lot of
just a lot
layering.
of- yeah.
layer, yeah.
But also with the Scream thing, like going back to the original question, like I don't know where it came from. To answer your question, like in short, like just listening to things and being like, try not to fuck your throat up whilst doing it, and then learning how to actually breathe and stuff, and make it so you're still going to be able to speak in 10 years' time, like, and doing it properly. Yeah,
that's kind of what Mike said from Convictions. Like he just was like, I got angry and it came out, and he learned, like you said, how to control it and stuff. Like obviously, Dev's Prada, like he freaking destroyed his voice. Mike Harnick.
Yeah.
You can tell me
I realized
gone.
like I can do those sort of screams live. And when I used to do all the vocals, I used to be able to do those sort of vocals live, and I could never replicate them in the studio. I think it's about the vibe sort of thing and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So that's why it was such a blessing getting Alex there, because it was like I could do them live, and then we track a song, and it'd take me like a week to do the vocals for it. I'd blow my voice out for 2 weeks. I'd have a headache 3 days straight and stuff. But then I'd go and be able to do it live, like pretty easily. It's weird. Like you just find that weird sort of. It's just this like perfect placement in your throat where if you remember how to get there, you can do it every time. And if you don't remember, you kind of have to wing it until you find it again, and then it just becomes muscle memory.
yeah. But it's a lot of like the breathing part for me as well. It's a big thing. Like making everything make sure it comes from your diaphragm, not from your throat, so you can effectively still speak afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I remember when Danny from Askin had to go to the hospital, and he apparently, what had happened, he'd like torn his whole, like, he had to completely stop screaming or he wouldn't have been able to speak like whatsoever. So it's one of those, like, you got to really make sure, like, with Alex's way of doing it, if he's doing it healthy, he's going to be able to do it in 10 years' time. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's the best way to do it is healthily, not like aggressively to make yourself sound that much better. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and you can tell with the metal bands like Avenged Sevenfold. I think he blew a blood vessel screaming too much. I want to say Eiley or whatever how you say his name from Bring Me Horizon. Like even he changed his sound, like newer stuff. It's not like a scream. It's like almost like a hybrid of screaming and singing at the same time.
Yeah, I think he got like vocal coaching by Sam Carter from Architects. Apparently, after the first couple albums, when he started going clean again, it was because he like, completely just destroyed his voice. And then he like then got coaching from Sam from Architects, and that's why like the new stuff has got this more like yell instead of a scream, because that's obviously how like Sam from Architects does it.
I know.
I read somewhere that he got like training by like Ollie from Bring Me got training from Sam.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know Corey Taylor like blew his nutsack out screaming, and that's like genuinely true. That's
I was doing a really high
story.
scream. That was like a hair metal scream.
Yeah, and he blew his nutsack out. I don't know how he just did.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, I just got chills.
the shit that you can actually do, the damage.
Yeah,
it's mad.
Yeah, insane.
Fuck yeah, it happens like a lot. Like unfortunately, it happens a lot with their like. I guess nutsacks too, but mostly blood vessels in their throat will go.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that something coming out of here would affect something down there. So yeah, but yeah.
Fuck. Wow, that's wild. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Deck, we don't want to hold you up if you have to jet. It'll just keep going, just so no rush on you. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'll hang about for another couple minutes, and then because I just want to see what any other questions are, and then I'll just dip where I need to go.
Yeah, I think we're there. I think we're to the big 3 questions by RJ.
Let's do it.
So I think we covered most stuff.
If Deck has to go, you can just
keep
pop
rolling.
out.
Yeah. Cool. Should be able to do it.
Yeah, let's get to my big 3, I guess. So, you can all answer, or one of you can answer, but what would you say is the hardest thing about being in a band?
The
Easily.
workload. Easily the workload. For me, easily the workload. Like,
No, it's definitely the workload. Yeah.
I mean, up until fairly recently, it was much more dependent on me and Deck. But obviously now, like, Cain's been a fucking amazing recently with helping out and stuff. Like, genuinely, if you're doing it properly, like, it's genuinely another full-time job on top of if you're working already. Like, it's, yeah, like, I don't think people see it. And because nowadays it's not just like the recording process, which in itself takes fucking ages, but you've also got like to run the side businesses, like everything on social medias, like, or like, you know, booking shows, booking tours. Yeah, it's, for me, that's what it is anyway. I don't know about you two.
Yeah. I know, I totally agree. Yeah. I think when it gets to the tours and the gigging and the writing music, to me that's more of a treat than it is a job. Like, I look at that as, I mean, I look at it as a job, I take it seriously, but at the end of the day, it's hanging out with the boys and it's writing shit and it's doing what you love to do. So there's obviously a way to find the work in it. There's a way to look at it as a job, but if you just look at it as a job and not also, like, you know, doing something you love, it'll get so tedious. You know, you gotta love it, and you gotta work as hard as how much fun it is. You gotta find that in between.
Like the week before the album dropped was potentially one of the most stressful weeks of like my personal life. Like in terms of workload, like I remember Cain would ring me, I just literally screaming down the phone, like, "Fuck off, I'm busy!" Like, feel like such a grump to it. It's like not meaning to be, but like, yeah, it was a heavy week.
Me and Alex were up at Alex and Davina, sorry. We were all up till, God, what time was it?
It was past 8 when I went to sleep. Yeah,
8 in the morning. It was about 8 in the morning when the album dropped. Just emailing, texting, messaging, and like every
Submitting
2 hours we take a
things.
break just to play a FIFA game, and then we're back.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're such a DIY band as well, though, that like we kind of fuck ourselves really. Like, we do everything ourselves. We have a management company. We had a PR company we've just finished working with for the album run. They've been a godsend. They've been so helpful. Like, we also design our own merch. We work with designers here and there, but like we kind of come up with the general idea ourselves. We print our own merch. We run our own websites. We do everything. Like, there's not a single part of the band that we can't tell you an in-depth explanation about.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, we do shitloads.
Fuck yeah, we respect that.
Yeah. So you talked about workload. What's like one thing that when you start a band or when you start playing music that people don't really think about? Like, some people have said money, some people have said always, driving from city to city to city to city. And so what's something that people don't think about when they start a band or start playing music?
Definitely,
I think,
I think
it's very much on the same lines as the last answer. Like, not to be boring, but like, people think, like, for example, like for me personally, like my area of things is the social media stuff. A lot of people think that it's just a case of like put something on Instagram every week or something, and it's like there's so much more to it. Like, as in, like, even from consistently like uploading daily to how you get around doing that, because obviously no one can be free every day at the same time. So how do you get things to go up at certain times? How do you get, what content do you put up? How do you get it to reach new people? Like, all that sort of stuff's just one little area, and it's like something that you have to spend weeks researching. So if you think of, like, say there's 10 things in a band that you need to do that for, like, it's
definitely like treating it like a business. And I mean, I've always tried it that way from sort of kind of day one. From the second I was like, I want it to be an actual band, I started treating it this way. But I'm always on the mindset of treat it like a job. Treat it like a full-time thing. If you've got people who don't want to take it seriously, they get fired from the job, so they'll get fired from the band. I just put we've just like started TikTok, and I've just kind of been putting sort of advice stuff on there,
And the one I just uploaded was literally like, treat it like a job. If your guitarist is saying that he's made plans with his girlfriend and he can't come to rehearsal, he wouldn't dare say that about his actual job, because if he did, he'd get fired. So he's getting fired if he, can't prioritize and stuff. Just treating it, really just like the amount, like the workload, and how if you want success, you reap what you sow. So you really need to put in that extra effort and really develop every aspect and get every aspect looking professional and getting professional results at everything and stuff. And it's way harder than I think people think it is. Like, yeah.
I think it's a sacrifice as well sometimes. Like there's been days for me where like I could easily have just gone out with, like, obviously pre-COVID and stuff, like gone out with friends, done stuff, but it's been like, I'm gonna have to pass. Like I've got work to do. Like like it's that kind of thing.
Yeah. The only time I'd ever say anything would be if I'm with either family or I've got genuine work. Like I've got my actual job. So if I'm busy with my actual job, then obviously it's the same. I'll get fired. So I need to like make sure.
Yeah, but the thing with that is like it's usually like I'll get it done as soon as I get home from work.
Yeah, it's just the prioritizing side of it.
Yeah,
you need
definitely.
to figure out that workload and figure out your priorities and stuff. It's definitely a bit of a shock for some people. Like,
I'll always put the band first before my actual job, but I need to also realise that if I don't have my job that I'm at now, I can't physically live.
To be fair, lad,
you know what I mean?
Your job at the minute is quite easy, and it has been for quite a while with furlough and stuff. I'm so jealous of your furlough.
I mean, when I was at work, it was quite tough. But when I was at, sorry, my cat's getting into my bin. Stop. When I was at work, all I did really was just wait on tables. I'm just a waiter, so it's quite a relaxed job. Split shifts as well, so that's the good thing. So if I work the mornings, I've got the afternoon free, so I can go to Dex because it's up the road, do some bits with him, and then go back to work in the evening. So yeah, another way to manage it.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, wow.
We're kind of in that vibe too with the digital media stuff. Like we're trying to prioritize. Like, yeah, I can help out with that, but hey, this day I have family stuff or I have actual work stuff that I can't. Be with
it's just about that prioritizing. It's about figuring out the workload, because
it's about like
no matter
managing
what, it will get
properly.
overwhelming at some point. It will get overwhelming at some point.
If you're not in if you're in a band, you need to take it seriously, but you shouldn't let it. You should still be able to balance it with, like friends and stuff. Like the thing I learned was before we started doing it, like working as much as a unit as we did, because now we all have like specific things to do. It wasn't that way for a while, and I realized like if you're in a band with say 4 people, and you're spending like 4 days straight doing work and the others aren't, then like it's all about splitting that stuff up so that you have a balance of like still being able to live your life, but also having that priority of this is what I'm doing. Does that make sense? Like,
yes,
yeah. The way I see it is, as long as you get your work done, your free time is your free time. As long as you've got it all done, it's all scheduled. Like for example, I do social media. As long as all the social media stuff is scheduled, whatever stuff in the meantime I've got free, I'll do. But when I don't, I need to be on top of that, because it's the mindset now is don't let the guys down. You got to do your job, and having one person do 4 jobs, having 4 people do those 4 jobs is so much quicker and so much easier than one person doing it. So
to be fair, it's probably done better as well, because that one person is not like stressing about doing the next thing.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm so used to doing social media now. It's just a case of me like getting the photo, doing the caption, putting the hashtags in, scheduling it. It's that simple, and it helps so much. It does so much more. Yeah. So we all know what we're doing, and we're all in the same mindset as we can't let each other down. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right. So last question. If somebody came up to you and each of you can have an answer, or you can all have the same, like 3 different answers. They want to start a band, or they want to start playing guitar, or they want to start playing drums. What are 3 things you would tell them?
All right, 1.
Like advice or something.
I'll give you 4. Because my first one is you need to follow our TikTok, because that's basically what I'm starting to do on there. It's just all advice about being a musician, starting a band, doing this, doing that. Anything that we've kind of learned from the last couple of years, it's kind of what we're going down there. 3 things I'd say. If you want, you're on about like a band or like just starting an instrument in general.
You can do it with both. You can do a band or just like starting to play guitar or something.
With an instrument, it's always going to be fucking easier just paying somebody to teach you. There's a reason why people teach jobs. There's a reason why people teach people. You can only learn so far on your own. You don't know what you don't know. So really bite the bullet. If you think you're a good singer, get lessons because you'll become a better singer. If you think you're a good drummer, get lessons. You'll become a better drummer. It's very, very simple. Just put the money in, invest in yourself. That's kind of the only thing I've got for being actual, just like a sort of single, just learning an instrument is honestly play what you like and just get a teacher or at least ask somebody who's really good. And because they'll teach you something you're never going to learn on your own. Like you can only self-teach yourself so far because if you never know what a scale is, you're never going to be able to figure out how to learn a scale. That makes sense. If you start in a band, again, follow our TikTok because it's literally what I'm going to be doing almost every day from now on. We've got a list so fucking long of like advice and stuff. We're going to start firing it out there and stuff. But if you've got any questions or anything, obviously just comment or message us or just do whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll help you with the shameless plug on that.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a really big list of advice, like just from stuff we picked up from shows. And my 3 main ones. One is learn from the people who are better than you. In regards to anyone that's sort of like a massive band, really research and figure out what like they're doing right. Because at the end of the day, like Slipknot are only Slipknot because they write songs like Slipknot. They're not Slipknot because they did like played covers in a pub, you know. 2, really treat it like a job, treat it like a business. Get into that mindset now because you're gonna have a way fucking easier time down the line. Really prioritize because you reap what you sow. And 3, being nice gets way further than being mean to anybody because you'll just look like a dick. Yeah. My 3. Thanks for having me. I'm gonna go. I've got 5 minutes to get 20 minutes down the road. So, right, bye guys. Thank you for having me. You two have fun. Let me know what you guys.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm gonna go. Best of luck, guys.
For me, it's weird because I think there's a million things that we could say as like advice for stuff. I think one thing that people might take for granted on this sort of stuff is the look. Like you can do a million things, but if like for example, say your band members aren't pulling their weight, you're not going to get anywhere. So I think a big part of it as well is like, obviously I can't say an advice is like be lucky, but like one thing to keep in mind is that like you have to, I don't know how to word it, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Like you have to got that luck on your side as well. So like to know when, say your band member isn't, like say someone isn't pulling the weight, you've got to let them know, otherwise it's not going to happen. And if they're putting complaints about it often, then you need to find someone else, and hopefully the person that you find, you'll have that luck on your side to have found someone who's going to do it. Like we're in such a good position that we've got 4 of us. Like the odds of that happening, you know, like yeah.
Like not only is it hard to find musicians, but it's hard to find musicians who will do the job. Like that's a good way of seeing it.
Very true.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Stop punching it.
Honestly, I think it's the same lines as Alex. You gotta go into there's so many ways to go into it. Like band wise, you need to make sure you're going into it, and you gotta make sure you don't get affected by hate because you're gonna get a shit ton of it. You're gonna get so much hate, and you gotta really learn to own that hate. Like we've just released some shirts which say Octopus Montage a pure wank. For the sake of, we do get hate, but we own it. Like we don't sit there, we don't reply.
I love their hate. I genuinely like sometimes prefer the hate comments over the good comments because it's just like, I think it's amazing. I think it's hilarious. Like I can't think of a time in my life I've ever thought of like, especially on a band that's like not massive, like just giving pure shit on a phone is like fuck off. Like well, like it's almost as if I want to send them like, you know, 30 quid so they can get themselves started in like therapy or something to sort out their actual issues. Like it's, you know, like I find it more kind of sad really than anything else. But yeah.
And like the last one, probably just don't give up at what you're doing. If you're passionate about it, don't give up what you're doing and push yourself to a whole new limit. When I started off in this band, I couldn't play half the stuff I'm playing now. I wrote it onto, what I did is, it was quite silly of me, wrote it onto a song, learn it afterwards, and it works perfectly for me. Like, my level of drumming now compared to when I started off with Octopus Montage is so much different, so much more like complex, much more groovy as well. Like, I learned what ghost notes and were, and how to interpret them into a song, and hearing those, like, the whole new groove to it is all I can say. The new songs, I'm going to try and get them tracked live. They're going to sound groovy as hell. So yeah, but just don't give up. Like, if you're passionate about it, keep going. Like, once you hit one wall, just go through that wall and continue going through the walls until there's no walls left. You'll get there eventually.
No, that's some sound advice. It honestly is.
I gotta ask.
Okay.
Who came up with the name?
We don't really have any say in that. It was before us.
Yeah, it's
Really?
So we'll let you into a bit of a. So obviously, with a name like ours, we get asked that question quite often because it's a ridiculous name. So what we tend to do, especially not so much in interviews where it's face to face because we pussy out of it, but in a lot of interviews where it's like we bite back the answers. Especially in earlier interviews that we did, we wrote just like we had like a list of like 15, 20 different things that we'd say that came up with the names that weren't, and we just pushed it to see what ridiculous things we could push to get people to write. So there's an interview out there that asked us a question, and they printed to this day I can't believe they printed it, but they printed that we're called Octopus Montage because one of the bands has like a hentai fetish for like porn with like hentai stuff, and it's in a magazine somewhere, and it's like we just found that hilarious that someone would publish that. So like the actual reason is that we just put two random words together, but it's so much more entertaining to just think of random shit and try and see if people will print it, and 9 times out of 10 they will. Like, so yeah.
No, that's funny you say that because my brother with like spin-off projects he like is working on, he'll like go on name generators and just be like two random names and then just keep clicking till you get something interesting. So I like that. Yeah, that's fucking the hentai porn. I love it.
You might not want to clip that bit out on its own, but
yeah. You can use your hard cheese bone or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's our side project. That's our side project now.
There's been some brilliant clips on this live stream. Deck screaming "fuck off" in a Gordon Ramsay voice, and then me just absolutely demolishing my phone.
No, there's many clips in this episode.
Yeah, this is gonna be probably a two-parter. Like,
yeah,
talking about the band, and then part 2 would probably be all the rabbit holes we did.
Oh, I'll keep it one long ass part, but it'll be all explained in the notes what we got here.
No, it was a fun one.
This is awesome. This is great. And I learned a lot. So we learned about puddles and TV shows that, you know. And
you need to watch Coronation Street. Like, if you're going to make it, like, if you can promise me you'll watch Coronation Street, even one episode of it.
Write it down. I'll watch it for you. What?
I appreciate it.
I vibe with you. So I'm going to fucking watch it.
Is it BBC?
ICV.
Okay.
It sounds so mundane, but like once you go down the rabbit hole of it, it's just, like, it's an addiction. Like, it's amazing.
Okay, I'll look it up. I'm here for that.
I love new shows.
Awesome.
And it's like a daytime soap.
So it's every other day. At like 7:30 over here. So like. Whatever that correlates to when the time zones keep changing because we evidently I honestly think there's a conspiracy theory that time zones change just to piss us off whenever we have an interview with someone, because every time we do it, like we'll check it, it'll be a different time. It's
Since we're behind the scenes, and at this point, if anyone's watching, they're OG fans of either us or you guys. Are we your first like stateside interview? Or have you done anyone over here?
We did one with Native Diamond podcast. Me and Cain did that. I think we've done a few like typing ones, but this is one of the only like one of the first like video ones we've done.
Wow,
So,
I will take that. That's great.
Yeah, one of the first. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
because we said time zones. I was trying to think if it was like more of like maybe you were interviewing people from like Europe, or if it was like all.
Yeah,
I don't know how global we were going here, but
to be fair, it's all thanks to our Becky, our PR lady. She's smashed it. I know. I think did we? You guys contacted us right on originally, yeah. But for everything else, like she's all the other interviews we've got, like she's been amazing with that stuff. Like if anyone is in a band and is looking and has a little bit of money to do it, if you're looking for PR, like big picture media, it's where it's at, man. Like it's smashed it for us.
100%.
Wow, that's sick.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been a blast, but obviously before we head things out, and we'll talk in post too, but where can people find social, your music? Obviously, I know Spotify and Apple looks like you guys have catalogs there. But how can people learn more about you individually and also like Octopus Montage as a whole?
I mean, our socials, our individual socials. I mean, we're following ourselves on our Octopus Montage account, obviously.
Okay.
But if you, I mean, if you like, I'm Alex. You'll be recording a Zoom call, right?
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, you can see our names below us. Like, if you want to add us on Facebook personally, we don't have friends.
My
so
second name's not iPhone. Just letting you all know.
His second name's Dylan, not iPhone. Although to be fair, we'd make a lot of money if your name was iPhone. Like,
we'd make quite a bit.
Like the amount of merch we could put out with that would be amazing.
All the
but yeah, like hit us up if you want. We'll probably send you some really shit memes, and you'll get fed up with us pretty quickly. But if you want to know more about us or whatever. Yeah, sure. And we upload like really weird videos on YouTube. So like we did one not too long ago where we have a tour van and we bought it secondhand, obviously, because we aren't made of money. And it had like stickers on it that we didn't want. So we did an experiment of what can we get from the shop to take the sticker off. So we were like throwing like Monster at the car, like toothpaste. Toothpaste works, by the way. So I get stickers off like a car.
Wow.
Use toothpaste.
Okay. Noted.
I don't know what else we threw at it, but yeah, it's just like if you want to hang around with some really weird people from the UK, then check out the YouTube channel because we're always doing random stuff on there.
They are.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You know, there's one thing that you guys didn't add to the album.
Oh dear.
It was on the Vine song. The breakdown call out was not what's your profanity? From the Vine. I was waiting for that too. I'm like, it's gonna come. But then you play
Tell
it.
you what, we can if we set a like goal for this. So let's set a like goal, and if it happens, we'll do it for you as like an exclusive for the podcast. So I don't know what you want to set it for, but do it, and we'll do it for you.
What's the goal?
I don't know if they have a Vine song.
Okay.
You know. Man, that hurt like a butt cheek on a stick. That one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
At the end, it goes, what's your profanity? So I was waiting for the call out before the breakdown. Be like, what's your profanity? And then just nasty breakdown. They played the
yeah, get like set a whatever like goal you want, and if it happens, we'll do it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
RJ's like, oh boy, this would be sick. Well, awesome, guys. This has been a pleasure. You joked early on that you wanted to break the record for the episode longest. You may have just done it. We'll see.
Nice.
We weren't joking. Like we knew we were getting this.
I've got another one of these in an hour. So
no shit, another interview?
Yeah, but I'm on my own this time. So
we wanted to see how he'd handle the pressure on his own, because he's very good at, like, obviously you've seen how we're good at going around rabbit holes. He's 10 times better at it. So expect like a 4-hour podcast somewhere else if you like of him just talking about cheese or something. Like
I'm going to be in World Guinness Records for the longest podcast, and it's going to be tonight.
This is just a good warm up then.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah.
Well, awesome, guys. This was a blast. Thank you for coming on. As always,
thanks for having us.
Oh, anytime. And thanks to Dex too. I know he dipped out. But yeah, this was a blast. This is Octopus Montage. This is your boy, Streaming Cassettes. You know where to find us. Get your shows, your merch, your blogs, all that shit. Wingmanoftheyear.com. And just fucking live life. Someone needs to. All right. Someone needs to. God damn it. All right. Wingman of the Year, Streaming Cassettes. Sign out. Peace.